Hello, I'm live again. How have you been? How was your weekend? I am super excited to share these nuggets about how to go from being a business owner to building a personal brand, which is something that I've been through in my own journey over the last 4+ years. First of all, when I had to drop the identity of an employee, which was the whole shebang in itself, and I was like, oh my goodness, I need to become my own boss and I need to do things by myself, and there's no one who is watching behind my back, and I need to take care of everything and take full responsibility for my life and myself and what I'm creating and all of that. And so that has been a journey in itself. And then in the last couple of months, I realized that there is also a huge difference between being a business owner and having a personal brand, or being a personal brand, or in other words, also being a visionary, being an entrepreneur. So those are very, very different qualities. It requires to be a different version of yourself when you're no longer a business owner, but you're actually a personal brand. You are a visionary. You are constantly creating and recreating yourself. You're constantly growing. You're constantly innovating. You're constantly iterating. And so that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. That's awesome. Got sound. That's brilliant. Happy to see you. It's so amazing to have you all. Michael, who else? Annie. And Truth to Be You is here. I saw that you started following me today. That's really awesome. So let's begin. I have six things that I want to cover today. So 6 things that I have identified, and I want to share with you these 6 qualities that need to change so that you go from being a business owner to becoming a brand. And when I realized all of this, it really clicked for me why I was hitting the same income ceiling, why I didn't feel this zest for life and excitement to show up, excitement to create, excitement to speak to you guys, excitement to be alive and create and treat my work, treat my art, treat my business, treat everything that I do with my clients and with people who are in my world as who I am, as something that makes me feel so in line, so aligned, so harmonious, so free to express myself fully. So when I was a business owner, or when I treated my work as a business, I became my own worst boss. I was either working way too much, and there was a phase when I worked 10 to 12 hours a day, and basically I was way worse than I had any of my bosses. And then I was like, oh my God, I really don't want this to be the case. So I went to the complete opposite, to another extreme of being kind of overly relaxed and overly chilled out and overly not caring, even to the extent that I was like, you know what? I will just let universe do its magic, and I will just follow what my heart is telling me to do. And I only will do the things that feel in alignment in this very moment, which needs to be the case for sure. But there is a but there. If you just sit around and do nothing about it, then it's never gonna come. You need to be the one who leads by example, who takes that leap of faith. You need to be the pioneer. You need to be the one who takes the first step and shows to the universe like, hey, I'm ready, I'm doing it. I'm not just sitting around watching Netflix, eating potato chips, doing nothing, just waiting for inspiration to hit me. I'm actually taking action. And that action is not an obligation, it's not forcing, but that action is inspired, aligned action. But I'm not waiting for it to happen. I'm actually being proactive. I'm being proactive to take the action that I know I need to take, because my heart is telling me you are procrastinating, you are not doing much, or you are doing the wrong things, and you keep on focusing on the things that are not moving the needle. So that's the thing. In order to no longer be that person who is a business owner, who is either doing way too much and being a workaholic and deprioritizing all the other parts of your life, which are actually super important to you, like family, friends, health, mental health, all of these things. Instead of that, you become your business in a way that you embody your business. You embody who you are. You build a personal brand because it's who you are, and you cannot not show up because it's who you are. So let's get to the points, those 6 points that I want to share. Number 1, going from niching down to meet the needs of the market, to niching up to meet your own needs. What do I mean with this? So many people are talking about niching down to meet people where they're at, to meet the needs of the market, to find a gap in the market after doing research so that you can distill your focus to be so precise and so specific in your niche that is when people are going to find you. Although that might work for some people, in my experience, it kills your soul. It feels like it's so mental. It's so not coming from the right place, not coming from your heart, not coming from your desire to show up, from your desire to work with these people, from your desire to create whatever it is you're desiring to create. It doesn't come from this inspiration to pour your soul into your work, into your art, into your craft, but it kind of feels like I am doing something because I think I have to, because I have a boss who is telling me to do this thing. So instead, when you are no longer a business owner, but you become your personal brand, then you're niching up because you want to meet your own needs. And what are your needs? Your needs are freedom of expression. Your needs are being seen, validated, approved by yourself, because you are giving yourself that validation and approval. This is who I am. This is what I'm all about. This is what I stand for. This is what I believe in. This is why it's important to me. These are my priorities. These are my values. These are the things that are so incredibly important to me that I'm not going to distill myself into something that's like, that's not really truly who I am. So that is number 1. Instead of niching down, you niche up to be that up-leveled version of yourself. Number 2, from meeting clients where they're at to letting clients come and meet you where you are. This is absolutely key, and in my journey, that has been a huge, I wouldn't say struggle, but something that I learned from several individuals who were teaching about how to run a coaching business, how to run an online service-based business. And they kept on saying, you need to meet clients where they're at. You need to bridge the gap. You need to see where they're at. And because you are 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of them, to basically show them like, hey, I'm coming towards you. I'm going to help you. Let's meet in the middle. Let's meet in the middle of this bridge. And so what it did is I realized that I was diminishing my own gifts. I was diminishing my own skill set in order to meet them where they were. And so I was limiting my speech. I was limiting my language. I was limiting my energy even. I was limiting my self-expression in order to meet people where they were. So why do you need to go where you want to be by niching up and then let clients come and meet you where you are? That is because you don't want to diminish yourself, but also you don't want to work with individuals who are not empowered, who are not self-led, who need hand-holding, who need you to convince them or motivate them. You don't want individuals who need you. You want to work with people who want to work with you, who feel inspired to work with you, who feel excited to work with you, who see the value in working with you. And not because they realize how somewhere behind they are, but because they see something about you that they can learn from. They see themselves in you because you embody something that they desire. So again, it's not as mental anymore. It's so in alignment with how you're living your life, how you're embodying everything that you're talking about, how you're walking the talk, how you are being the version of you who is not just the best version of you in this very moment, which also means that you are constantly growing and constantly evolving, but also it means that those individuals see the potential in them by seeing how you live your life. So you don't need to go down in any way to meet them where they are. You rather set the bar, you set the standard that this is how we play here. This is how we run a business. This is how we build relationships. This is what kind of lifestyle we have. This is how we treat our bodies. This is what we eat. This is how we exercise. This is how we spend our leisure time. This is how we navigate relationship challenges. Like all of these things then show you, oh, okay, as a client, you're like, I want to live that way. I want to be that person. And you don't want your coach or your mentor or whoever is basically offering the services or products that you're looking to purchase, you're not looking at that as like, oh, it will solve my problem on this kind of small way, but it's more empowering you to step up the game, to step up and activate yourself because you now see what is possible. Now, number 3, from molding yourself into who you believe you need to be, to being the fully expressed version of you. So, as I just mentioned, when you think that you need to niche down, when you're coming from this very mental place, when you're analyzing everything, overthinking everything, you get stuck in analysis paralysis, you are doing research in this very linear way, when you're meeting clients where they're at instead of exploding with your essence, expressing yourself so fully, allowing yourself to be fully you no matter what, allowing yourself to show up as yourself no matter what, even if your older version of you would feel ashamed of it, would feel afraid of judgment, would feel maybe even guilty to shine too bright. Something would make you feel like, you know what, it's better to hide. It's better to just stay where you're at. Then you will fit in. No, this time you're no longer limiting yourself. You're no longer molding yourself into something that is not who you truly are. You are no longer wearing any masks. You're no longer pretending. You're no longer playing games. You're no longer being the version of you who feels like you have to convince or just sell products that aren't really something that you believe in, or you feel like your heart is not in it, but instead you're being fully you unapologetically. You're not limiting yourself in any way. You're not molding yourself in any way. You're being yourself. That's what it means to be a personal brand. That's what it means to build a personal brand, because you are being fully yourself. Then, from offering services and products based on what makes sense, which is something that I have definitely fallen into this trap a few times in my own experiences in the past, to offering services and products which are your soul's pure creations. Now, let's take an example. What makes sense? It's something that I also shared in some of my posts and in some of the live videos that I have already shared with you. In the past, I analyzed what kind of services and what kind of clients were coming to me to work with me for, or what kind of topics they wanted to work with me on, or what kind of challenges they faced, and therefore they came to me because of those challenges. And so again, I was so mental. I was analyzing like, so what does make sense? What makes sense for me to focus on? What kind of services should I offer? What kind of products should I design? How should I work on all of this? And what I realized is that, again, I was limiting myself and I wasn't allowing my heart to come fully through. Instead of allowing my heart to come fully through, I was just like, I will do what other people are telling me to do, or I will do what people expect of me, or I will do why people come to me. I will focus on the most common topics that people get challenged by. And what it did, it really made me feel like I was just a number. I was just another coach. I was just a commodity. It made me feel like I am not just not being fully myself. I'm also neglecting what I actually truly feel called to do. So your work here is to ditch all of these obligations and all of this overcomplicated mental analysis and start offering things that are coming from your soul's deepest desires. Yesterday, I spent a beautiful time with some ladies who came here to Brazil. And one of them is facing these challenges of like, she was like, oh my God, I don't know what to offer. I have so many talents. I have so many skills. I have so many passions. I am multipotential. And I don't know how to express myself because I feel like I'm all over the place. And I was like, girl, this is exactly your magic. Find your way how to merge all of this into something that is going to be uniquely you. Put all of these pieces together into a puzzle that will show who you truly are. Don't try to focus on one thing out of these, 5, 6, 7 things that you're interested in. Don't try to maximize in one area. Rather, try and see synergies between all of your passions. Try and see synergies of how you can express yourself fully, even if that means that maybe if you are a coach, for example, and you love dancing, how can you combine dancing with coaching? How can you combine wanting to work with kids with education and coaching? How you combine love for travel with coaching, with children and education and dancing? Like, what kind of synergies can you see so that you can bring all of yourself into this work? Don't try and pretend to be someone you're not. Don't try to just limit yourself because you think that you have to focus on one thing. The beauty in creation is when you start seeing connections between things that are seemingly disconnected. When you start innovating because you start seeing synergies, because you start seeing how everything is connected at the end. So let's take another example. In my case, I live in the jungle. So that's what a part of my personal brand. I am all about coaching, mindset. I'm all about embodiment, walking your talk. I'm all about integrity. I'm all about ditching obligations. I'm all about going wild and expressing yourself fully. Therefore, my entire personal brand is all about that. It's also about colors. I love colors. I love art. I love beautiful patterns. I love music. I love 80s music, 90s music, 70s music. I like things that are just quirky and silly and making funny jokes and just not giving a shit what people think. So I combine all of these things into one. That is exactly why you will see me dancing like a maniac and being a business, I wanted to say business owner, but just like I said in this video, it's not about being a business owner. It's about being a visionary. It's about being a personal brand. Then, from limiting yourself by others' expectations of you, to, and also showing up as a watered down version of you, to showing up fully, powerfully, and unapologetically, which basically already we touched upon, right? So we already talked about other people's expectations, what they want from you, all of that stuff. Now, what does it mean when you are trying to fit their expectations? When you are trying to not be judged? When you are trying to do what maybe even your father or your mother or your grandparents were expecting of you? Maybe that's what you expected of you, and that's why you're limiting yourself, and basically you're not allowing yourself to shine your light fully. When you start showing up fully and powerfully and unapologetically, you stop caring what other people think. You stop caring about judgments, because here's the thing: other people are judging you not because of you. They're judging you because of their own perception, their own projections, their own fears, their own doubts. They are judging because something in them got triggered because of your light, because of how brightly you're shining, because they're being triggered within themselves to show up, to be more in alignment, to be more in harmony, to be in more authentic version of themselves. And that is very uncomfortable for other people to experience, just like potentially you have been experiencing that yourself. So always remember that all of those judgments have absolutely nothing to do with you. Maybe you have come across the 4 Agreements book by Don Miguel Ruiz. And one of the 4 agreements is to never take anything personally. And that is precisely why. Never take anything personally, because it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. And number 6, from feeling like you're killing your soul to feeling like a badass who finally unleashed your full essence. So what does it mean? Imagine. Maybe you don't even have to imagine. Maybe that's exactly how you feel. When you are a business owner who is just doing things because you think you have to do it, because this is how you earned a living, because this is how you're used to doing things, because you have earned your success so far exactly this way, and now you're afraid to ditch all of these old ways of operating. So as a business owner, you start feeling like you're killing your soul. You start feeling like you're bored, you're not excited, you want to hide, you feel resentment towards your business. You feel like, you know what, I don't want to do this thing. I just want to be on vacation all the time. I want to hang out with my friends. I want to hang out with my family. I just want holidays. I want to go travel the world. I want to do all the things that will distract me from actually showing up in my business. This is what happens when you're running your business as a business owner. This is what happens when you're limiting yourself. This is what happens when you are not being fully expressed. This is what happens when you offer something that is coming from this mental analysis and research and thinking that this is what you should be doing instead of this is what you desire and want to be doing. And when you shift, when you become a personal brand, then you feel like, oh my God, this is my life. This is so freaking exciting. This is what I want to do. This is what I desire to do. This is who I freaking am. I want to express myself. I want to show up. I want to create. I want to help people. I want to transform other people's lives. I want to create something absolutely gorgeous. I want to create art because I am a piece of art. I want to paint. I want to dance. I want to sing. I want to, I don't know, create software. I want to develop awesome things online. I want to create and build a movement. I want to meet people face to face and create amazing experiences for them. I want to make a freaking difference. When you become your own personal brand, it doesn't feel like it is draining you. It doesn't feel like it's killing your soul. It doesn't feel like, ugh, I hate my life. I hate my business. It's so not cool. I don't know why it's not working. Well, why it's not working is because you don't love it. Because you treat it as if you are your own worst boss. As if you are your own employee. But you are not an employee and you are not your own worst boss. You are your best boss. You are the brand. You are the embodiment of what you're talking about. You are the one changing lives. You are the one making a difference. You are the one leading by example. You are the one living from a place of freedom. Freedom to express yourself as you truly are. Like today, I cannot even tell you how many times I didn't say words the way I wanted to say. My English today is like blah. And I could have been like, ugh, never mind. That's it. Like life is done. And I was like, no, I'm going to show up as me, who is imperfectly perfect, just the way I am, with my bad English sometimes. And so what? As a personal brand, you own it. You are it. You embody it. You are empowered because you are fully you. You allow yourself to be imperfect. You give yourself permission to be imperfect. You give yourself permission to be awesome just the way you are. Even if, I don't know, you make mistakes. Even if you say something you don't want to say. Even if you lose your shit sometimes. Even if you oversleep. Even if you're late to your appointment. It doesn't freaking matter. When you own it, when you own your power, when you are confident in who you're being, and because you're confident in who you're being, you also want to create. You want to do, you want to take action, you want to move the needle. You want to focus on things that actually make a difference. Not all the things like, oh, I will spend like 3 hours today to improve my website. And yesterday I did the same, and the day before I did the same, and the day before I did the same. And basically the last 2 weeks I've been working on my website. Well, guess what? I've been there myself too. That's why I'm calling myself on my own bullshit, but also I invite you to look into your own as well, because you need to focus on taking action that you feel inspired to take, not because you think you have to, because it's kind of important, but actually it doesn't move the needle. You need to look into what is the bottleneck. Where are you limiting yourself? Where are you wasting your energy and time? Because you're focusing on things that actually don't matter in this very moment. Website might help at some point. But if you really think about it, if your higher self, if the version of you who is already extremely successful and happy and satisfied and aligned in your work, in your business, in your personal brand, would he or she spend time on tweaking your website over and over and over and over again? Or would you show up? Would you create? Would you take action on something that you knew you had to take? Even if it's uncomfortable as fuck. Even if it's not really something that comes naturally to you. And you know you need to practice on it. You know you need to take that uncomfortable action, because that's the only way how you will become that version of you. So your work is to become that identity first, to identify who do I need to be that personal brand. How do I want to express myself? What kind of pieces of the puzzle I now see and identify that make me who I truly am? And how does that version of me look like at its highest potential? The most capacity, the highest capacity that you can possibly embody. Who is that version of you? And then tapping into that energy, tapping into the energy of how powerful you are, how amazing you are, how beautiful you are, what a big heart you have, how much creativity lives inside of you. Which is another thing. Like, I used to think that I was not creative at all. I was like, you know what? No, I'm not a good painter. I'm not a singer. I don't write songs. I'm not good in writing. I'm not like a poet or something. So, well, I guess I'm just not creative. Forget about all that nonsense. When you identify that puzzle, that identity, when you're being that person, and you tap into the power of who you are meant to be on this planet, then creativity starts pouring out of you. Then you really start expressing yourself fully. And that is when you start having the desires that you truly desire. That is when you start magnetizing amazing people, because it's undeniable. You become the magnet because you're being you. And how can people ignore that? It's impossible to ignore that. You become the match to your vision. You have set that standard so high. You have created that vision of how you imagine your life, yourself, your business to feel, to be like. How it's going to be for you to live that amazing life. You have that vision, and now because you're embodying it, because you're being it, because you chose it, because you gave yourself permission, now you become a match to that vision. And because you become a match to that vision, you become a magnet to amazing things happening. Those amazing things start flowing to you. Opportunities start flowing to you. Ideas start flowing to you. Clients start flowing to you. People start being like, I want to know more. I want to learn this. I want to be in this person's world. I want to know what's happening. I want a piece of this thing. I want to also create my own brand. I also want to not just be inspired by it, but I want to do it. I want to be it. I want to create it. I want to design it. I want to live that magnificent life. I want that with my whole heart. So, when you build a brand, it gives you freedom. When your focus is not on this limited version of building a business and being a business owner and having it as a separate thing outside of you to just make a living and earn some money or a lot of money, but it's, a thing that you do on the side, or maybe not on the side, it's maybe your primary source of income, but still it's kind of like this thing that you do in order to make a living, provide for yourself, for your family. When you build a brand, you build freedom. It gives you freedom in all shapes and forms imaginable. It gives you freedom to be whoever you desire to be. It gives you freedom to design your life exactly the way you desire it to live. It gives you freedom to choose who you want to surround yourself with. It gives you freedom to live wherever you desire to live. It gives you freedom to be in control over your mind in a way that leaves that bird out of the cage. You are in control over your emotions which frees you. It frees your soul. Building a personal brand is not just about the business. It's not just about making money. It's not just about any of that. It's about you giving yourself permission to live life fully, in full alignment with your soul's blueprint, with what is meant for you, with who you are meant to be on this planet, becoming a match to your desires. If you have imagined being a digital nomad, for example, traveling the world, living in exotic places, hanging out with amazing people, that is available to you. That is available to you when you allow yourself to feel free. And by feeling free, you express yourself as a brand. So, what happens when you build that business? When you build that brand? When you build yourself? You dare to go first. You take a leap of faith. You jump before you know how to fly. You take action even though you don't really know what you're doing. You go first because you're not waiting for anybody to tell you that now you can. Nobody is gonna come and tell you that now you can. You have to go first. And only then universe is going to meet you there. That's exactly why you're not meeting clients where they're at. You raise the bar and let clients come and meet you where you are at. That's exactly how universe functions. You decide, you pioneer, you go first. You lead by example, by walking your talk. Not just saying I'm going to make 2024 my best year thus far, but by doing it, by making it happen, by allowing yourself to fall in freaking love with your entire life, with your craft, with your talents, with your art, with everything that you're meant to be doing. Instead of holding yourself back because it's safer, it's more familiar, it's more comfortable. I know exactly how it feels. I lived that way for a few years, even after I started my coaching business. Until I realized it's really not satisfying. It's so much more fun to keep growing, to keep evolving, to keep on pushing your boundaries, to keep on stretching your comfort zone, to keep on expanding fully into who you're meant to freaking be. Not this, watered down version of yourself. It's like, I will just do the bare minimum. Or I will just do the things that I have to do. Or I will do things that are on my to-do list. Or I will do things because I feel like I should. No, you do things because you freaking want to. You do things because you are that person who does it. You do things because you love growth. You love overcoming your fears. You love defying the odds. You love transmuting your doubts, your insecurities, and being like, you know what? I will prove to myself and others that none of this matters anyway. All of those thoughts and beliefs are just thoughts and beliefs to be believed to be true. They are not real. I decide how I create my reality, and I'm not going to let any fears, insecurities, and doubts hold me back. I'm not going to let any of that define how my future goes. It's not going to happen. I decide. I draw a line in the sand. I draw a line in the sand and I go and I move and I take action. Because that is who I am from now on. I decide who I am from now on. from a business owner to a personal brand. So I hope this was helpful. Now I'm going through some comments. Marketing from the inside out, exactly. I do think that sometimes we need to pay them visits there, though. I'm not sure what you meant with that, Annie. A multi-passionate like me. Yes, exactly. There are so many of us here, right? That is when true magic happens. Been trying to ditch my obligations and liabilities for more than 2 years. Well, it's about time. It's about time. What is holding you back, Michael? I love dancing. Yes, I want everything that I want. It is beautiful to see you in your flow like this. You're glowing. Thank you so much. I'm trying to start over. Almost got my chance, but it's the leap of faith in myself that I struggle with. That is exactly why you need to work with individuals who are going to help you. You need to put yourself in rooms with those who are taking those leaps of faith over and over and over again. That is exactly why it is so challenging to change and to go for it by yourself, because you need to surround yourself with individuals who already do. Either coaches and mentors, but in your case, I would even say a mastermind type of situation where there are individuals like you in the same shoes who are also overcoming their struggles and challenges. So many people believe that, and we have incredible creativity inside of us. Absolutely, exactly. There's infinite amount of creativity. That's the thing. We should never, ever, ever hold ourselves back. Thank you, Ruta. We promote a very similar message. I love your clear, precise delivery. Awesome. That's awesome. I also magnetize some undesired attention. That does happen, and it has happened in my life as well. Quite a bit, I have to say. Sometimes there were like big time haters as well, but honestly, you just need to learn how to just erase any of that energy from your life and not make it affect you whatsoever. So what I do in these cases, I delete, I block. And if it's someone from my life, like a friend or a family member, it's a matter of setting clear boundaries. It's a matter of really standing up for yourself. It's an opportunity for you to show up powerfully and be like, this is not how you talk to me. This is not how you treat me. This is not how I will ever allow anyone to treat me in my life. And they have to deal with that. Better to live making than making a living. Exactly. You need to live first and then make amazing shit happen. Digital nomad, living life unsatisfied is not the way. Exactly. When stuff gets hard, it doesn't mean we are not good at it or capable of it. It means we're doing it. We are on the journey. We have done something. It doesn't mean give up. It means keep going. Exactly. Love that. Trust first and then build evidence. New beginnings are never easy, but they're so exciting. Absolutely. So wonderful. The right people by your side is a big game. So true. So true. So important. So crucial. And also at the same time, I remember my own beginnings back in 2019, 2020, when I was just shifting my life in the very, very beginning of my path. And I was fading away from my old friends because they were not understanding my truth at all anymore. And at the same time, I didn't have my new tribe yet. And it was a bit of a lonely period, lonely phase. But what I did at the time, I was doubling down, quadrupling down on my relationship with myself. And I was also creating this feeling inside of me that everything that I consume online, all of these inspiring and incredible people that I'm learning from, they are my tribe. And that really helped in the very beginning of my journey. So again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, Annie, and Truth Be You, and Michael, and a few others who joined as well. Thank you for being here, and see you in the next video. I will go live very soon in the next couple of days again, and have a beautiful day. Bye bye.